All righty, everybody. Hey. It's Tanya Smith here. This is Stream Like a Boss TV, and I am super excited and thrilled to be able to bring my good friend Burton Kelso on with us. I'm going to double check a couple of things real quick here and make sure that we are live in all the places because some of you may know that I had a little blow up incident not that long ago, and I've had to really start from scratch putting my scenes together, and all kinds of things have been just a little glitchy lately. But we're going to make this thing awesome regardless. So, hopefully, if you can see us on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, you just give us a little wave and let us know where you're from. Pop something in the chat and let me know you're here. If you are someone who is new to the show, here's what we do. We have you type in hashtag newbie. And if you have been around for a minute, you've been to the show before, you're now effectively family. So you are a hashtag OG. So what I'm getting ready to do real quick here is share with you a little bit about my guest that's coming on. Burton Kelso is a tech expert. He's the founder of Integral, and he's going to talk a little bit more about himself. I see the hand waving. What's up? Coaching Conversations with Coach Pam in the house. We're going to be talking about AI tonight. So I know this is a favorite topic for a lot of folks. And we're just going to put our own spin on this and talk a little bit about using it when it comes to video and audio podcasting. So if you've got questions, make sure you pop those in there. Tyrone Gilbert, it's good to see you, sir. I'm going to make sure that I pop up your comments and acknowledge you here because we are live with you, live and real in person. And in just a couple of seconds, I'm going to pop on over to a quick video while you grab yourself a notepad and a pen because I know Burton's going to be dropping some gems. Now, if this is your first time, so Tyrone, I know it's your first time, and it's some other newbies that are going to be popping on. And if you're watching replay, you can also type in hashtag replay. I'll acknowledge you. But what we talk about on this show is live stream marketing, but we also talk about a lot of different things that are related to digital spaces. And so AI is one of those things that is really just kind of taking over everything. You can talk about it in any channel. If you listen to any podcast, video or audio, you're going to be hearing something about AI. The reason why I do what I do in terms of the live stream marketing is because I know that it's a chance to help you if you're a service business to really be able to serve more people, to stand out online and sell more of your services. So that's why I come on the show on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern to come and talk with you. And sometimes I have a special guest like I do tonight. So very excited to bring Burton here. We're going to see him on the other side of this little short video in a second. And if you have any questions, I want you to make sure you pop those in the chat because we'll be able to see them and respond. Okay? All right. We'll see you in just a second. All righty. What's up, sir? Burton in the house. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Now I feel a little antiquated because, like I was telling you before, I just have a static card holder for my video channel. Over the weekend, I got to come up with a dope intro like you have. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Look, you know you are dope on your own. Like you've got all the cool stuff. You've got the tech stuff that's all in here. I know. So I just try to pretend that I'm a little geeky.
Whatever.
I'm just
I'm
trying to
looking at
be
that
like you.
high powered. I'm looking at that high powered microphone you got. You beyond that, I like. You're not like have earbuds in and talking and stuff like that. You got the setup. You got the and I know you probably have a video on Stream Like a Boss how to get the right equipment
Oh
for
yeah,
your podcast. I know you've done it. I
I
know
do. I do. I
you know
talk a
all the
little bit
equipment to
about
get.
that.
You know,
What's
I
up,
just got
women
this
about
raggedy Blue
biz?
Yeti microphone, so
But you know what? The blue worked. It served me well. I have a gold one. I had a blue
oh, really,
Yeti and it was gold. Yeah, it was solid
right?
gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yeti's like the beginning stages of a microphone. If you after you get past streaming your on your smartphone going live, it's like next is the Yeti. But I think I keep it because of that old school flair it's got. It looks like a 1920s, 30s, 40s microphone. So I
Oh
love
yeah.
that.
Look,
Love
I
that.
can even go further back than that. I have the snowball.
Oh
You
my
remember
God.
the blue
Yeah,
snowballs?
yes, I do.
They look like the old timey radio microphones. I still
Right,
love that thing, but now it's just, it doesn't work, of course, as well with my whole setup. So I can't use
right.
it.
I got you. I got you. But I mean, that's it. I mean, just keeping up with what's going on with video and, of course, technology and everything's changing. Especially, it's difficult if you are a digital marketer, especially if you do video and live streams. I mean, things are changing. You know what I'm talking about when I say things are changing. What were we just talking about with Uncle Elon and his platform and streaming?
We were talking about the fact that platforms like X have decided, you know what, if you want to stream, you got to pay to play. And so there are a lot of people that are making a decision not to. So for those of you who are thinking about live streaming, at this point, the non pay to play, the places where you can actually, yeah, you can still freely stream, are really where it's at. So Meta slash Facebook, Instagram, you can still stream free. TikTok, I believe you can still. Now, there's criteria that you have to meet for some of those, but ultimately, yeah, YouTube, of course, meet those criteria. LinkedIn, but
Hmm.
if they're charging, I'm not so sure that the benefit, that the return on investment is there to pay for streaming when you have other choices.
I know that's yeah, that's crazy. It just shows that X is really cutting themselves out of the market as far as small business streamers. I mean, obviously X is more geared to large personalities and of course the news,
Yeah.
but for just regular small folks, that platform doesn't really serve anybody anymore. It's sad.
Yeah, yeah. And I know there are people that would argue. I know there are going to
Oh, really?
be people in the comments that are going to argue that because I've seen it,
Oh
but
no.
I believe it. We're on the same page with that. I'm
Right.
going to pop up a few comments and just say hello to some folks and make sure to acknowledge that they're here. What's up, Women About Biz in the house? How you doing? You're welcome, Tyrone. Tyrone is my newbie tonight. Good to see you, sir. And then Coach Pam. Coach Pam actually just finished, I believe she finished an ICF credential, which is a really big deal. So, Coach Pam, what's up, girl? That's what's up. That's what's up. Let's talk a little bit about you, Burton. Give the folks a little bit more of your background. Like, tell us about your bio.
Oh, well, so I own a technology services company by the name of Integral based in the Kansas City area. So our business model is similar to Geek Squad, whereas we go to homes and businesses and take care of computer issues. We also do managed services, so people pay us
That's
monthly
what's up.
or by the
That's
year
what's up.
to monitor their computers and all that other good stuff that's going on. So I'm also a national speaker. I did a TEDx. I guess like everyone else, I should say I did a TED Talk. That way it has a little bit more authority. And also, I've got another TED Talk that's coming up too, both of them on AI, which kind of makes this apropos that we're talking about AI and digital streaming and podcast and stuff. And I'm on TV all over the globe too. So I guess you could say I'm a rock star IT guy. And I hate saying that because when I mention all those accolades, I always feel like I'm bragging, and I definitely am not that guy.
No, you're not a braggart at all, but you do need to acknowledge your accomplishments, and you've done a lot, sir.
It,
So I'm very proud of you. I'm super excited for all that you're continuing to do. I think there's a little bit of a delay, but because I just checked it, but Gary Jones Jr. is in the house. What's up, Gary? Love it. Um, let's talk a little bit about this whole AI thing because
yeah,
yeah, go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, you go ahead and finish up.
I
I
was
just
just going
jumped
to
in.
ask you what your thoughts are. Like, what do you see AI? How do you see it impacting us as we'll talk a little bit about small businesses, small creators, that type of thing, because I think that's the space where we both play and we play well. How do
Right.
you think this is impacting us as a community, as a culture in the small business community?
Well, I think AI, well, I should say I know AI is basically Google or conversational Google. The challenge is that because of literature and with movies, people are scared of AI. You've got HAL from 2001, A Space Odyssey, you got Ash from Alien, you got Terminator. I mean, there's a list of whole examples that show, or when you talk about AI, that people think it's just going to become self-aware and just steal our information and just ruin our world, and then we'll end up like everyone in the Matrix, where like little battery pods fueling the AI machine. But I mean, that's the furthest from the truth. I think when the gearheads that came up with the generative AI should have just called it like generative GPT, because with the whole chat GPT, the GPT term stands for generative pre-trained transformer, which is essentially a way that you can talk to a computer like you would an individual. So, I mean, if people get behind the mindset that AI is not self-aware, and basically it's a large database of information and information pulled off the internet that we can access by just putting in prompts that are conversational. So just always think of AI in its current form as conversational Google. You got a problem you need solved, you don't call Vanilla Ice. You just call upon AI to solve whatever problem you have. And so if you're a live streamer, if you're a video content creator, you can basically use AI as a foundation to get those that creative juices flowing, because in the scheme of life as a small business owner, there's so much that you have to deal with, but you know
Yeah.
that you have to be active on social and be seen as a thought leader and create content to share either on podcast or on live video streams. So AI can definitely be a tool that can help you stand out and help you come up with the information that you need, or that you know people need, in order to help further their businesses.
So, one of the things that I promised folks that we talk a little bit about is this whole idea of a 30-day plan. And this is why I was really intrigued because you suggested it. Do you remember that you suggested that topic?
Of course. Yeah, I
Okay.
remember that. But I think one of the challenges with people is with social and with video content creation, you've got to have a plan in place so that you can maybe get ahead as far as creating those videos, and then help you stay trending as far as the topics that you're coming out with. You want to pay attention to what's going on in the world, but at the same time, you want to come up with ideas that are fresh and creative. And if you're just in the day to day grind of your business, you're not always able to be in that mindset of coming up with good stuff. And that's where AI comes in.
All right. Love it. I think we're off to the races when it comes to AI. There's a lot going on. What's up, RK3 in the house? My people, my people.
Of course, yeah, we both know RK3,
We do. We
a rock
do.
star,
You
a
know,
rock
one of these days, I just need to have like a panel of all of these pros that I've met over the years, and we all go way back. Now, many of you have gone much further than me, but
star.
but I love that we all still stay connected. So it's exciting to see you all here. Um,
That's the whole part of social and just being a thought leader and an entrepreneur. You
yeah.
just got to continue to show up. You can't show up for a few days and then disappear and then wonder why business has dropped off or why no one's interacting with you. So I know the people that we're connected with, they're always showing up in one form or another. And RG3 is always coming up with valuable content to share on his channel. So yeah.
He is. RK3 in the house. It's good to see you. You said Burton Kelso is a boss talking to the streaming boss.
Oh yeah, right. Right.
I love it. Look, okay, so speaking of that, trying to be everywhere at once, if someone were to, let's say you were new to the idea of creating your own, I'm going to start with audio podcast, and I'll share some thoughts too, but what are your thoughts in terms of sharing an audio podcast? How would you begin to leverage AI to creating this show? How would you use it to start planning things out?
Well, one of the things that you would use AI for to create like a audio podcast is to, I think you have to select the proper tool that's going to work for you. So, for example, I mean, there's all sorts of generative AI tools out there. Like it's in Canva, it's in LinkedIn. As far as generative AI that you can have more control of, it's not just ChatGPT. I mean, you got tools like Google Gemini, you got tools like Microsoft Copilot, and you also have Meta AI, which everyone hates, but it's actually a pretty powerful tool that you can use to help come up with content for your audio podcast. You can use it to come up with a catchy title for your podcast. If you struggle with titles for your podcast, you can use it to figure out what trending topics are going on in your industry. I mean, for technology, it's always out there, but there's a lot of entrepreneurs that have to find content that may not always be trending. Like if you're in the home services, for example, it may be hard, or maybe you're just in a specialized service business that doesn't always cater to everybody. I mean, you can use AI to help you come up with the topics and the descriptions for that week for your podcast, and you can also um, come up with what content you're going to cover within that podcast session. So, I mean, rather than just sitting there beating your head against the brick wall, you can just use AI to say, hey, let me help you with that, and I got your back. That's how you need to come at AI.
It's funny because you mentioned a couple of things just now. But one of the things that you mentioned, I've been studying. Hey, John Lacey. And what's up, Tatiana? I've been studying different language models, large language models, and one you mentioned Meta, which you're right. A lot of people are kind of sleeping on that, but right now, as of I think it was probably within the last week or so, they released a model that is crazy good,
Oh,
and
Llama,
it's
it's Llama 3, right? For Meta.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I've seen
Llama,
it.
and a lot of people don't know, and it's open source.
Here,
So
let me screen share since we were talking about that. I've got Meta up. I hope that's Meta. Yeah, there we go. So here's Meta AI. And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize about Meta AI is that they stay away from large language models because they're like, well, I don't really want my information out there. I don't want to sign in with my email account and have them share stuff. As far as I know, Meta is like the only AI, generative AI tool that will allow you just to go to Meta AI. You can type a prompt in and it'll give you the content without having been signed in. Now, it's somewhat limited that it doesn't share your past prompts, but if you just needed something real quick, like, hey, I want to get on here and find a title for my podcast, then you can just type it in and then it'll generate it for you.
and it's also good with images, is what I saw.
Oh my gosh. Have you seen an image in Meta
I haven't
AI?
created one yet, but
Yeah,
I've
let's do
started
one.
playing. When I heard this, I was like, "What?"
You
like,
gotta watch. You gotta watch this. I'll do your favorite person. Um, your figurines, I would say. So you would start off with the
uh,
prompt of imagine, and let's
okay,
see here. Now it doesn't want to act right. Let's see. Let's see. Imagine a. Let's see if it's going to change. Because basically, Meta will generate the image for you as you type it out. There we go. See where it says imagine a picture, and it's starting to change.
oh,
And you know who I'm going to put in here, right?
I know who you're getting ready to put in
Uh huh.
there.
Right.
oh,
So, but here,
oh,
uh, here we go. But let's make it geared to you.
so it's just it's morphing and change. Oh,
Yeah.
it's
See, it just
changing while
morphs as you.
you're.
Yeah, as
That's
you type it in.
crazy.
Uh, let's see here. We'll say, and she, if I can spell that right, is, and then I'll say smiling. So there we go, right? We got
Uh,
our image of Wonder Woman. So then I'm going to go ahead and hit the button to submit. And I know this is comic book stuff, but if you're looking for images to put on, and maybe you don't want to use your own image, but you want images that you want to use for content, whatever, you can do it with Meta AI. Its content or its image creation tool is incredible. So,
that is
like
crazy.
Microsoft Copilot, it'll give you four images to choose from. Maybe you want more of a cartoony Black Wonder Woman or more of a photorealistic image of Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing about this is there's an animate button that you can hit. So we hit animate, give it a few seconds, and then it will animate that image
Get
into more of
out.
a GIF or a GIF. So yeah, give it a few more seconds. That's one of the downsides. Is like it's one of the slower AI.
Oh, hold up.
Yeah, yeah,
Hold up. And I don't
right.
know of any of them. And I've been using Midjourney a lot, but I didn't know that that does it.
Yeah, the thing that you would
RK3, I
have to get through
agree.
with
He said the lower one kind of looks like Serena Williams.
it kind of does, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, one of the things that you have to do as far as imagine in Copilot, not Copilot, sorry, with Meta AI, even in Copilot 2, is that if you want images like the ones below, then you need to do photorealistic.
Okay.
So that makes it look more realistic as opposed to the top two that are going to be more cartoony. But this, even though this is a comic book character, this kind of gives you an idea if you are coming out with that, maybe that, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe you're using that thumbnail if
Yep.
for your podcast, and you don't want to use you, but you want to use something similar to you, like an avatar. You can
Mm-hmm.
definitely go to Meta or go to Copilot to create those photorealistic images.
That is cool. Let me pop up some of these comments that people are commenting on. Um, First of all, yep, I agree. We definitely, I saw that there. Tatiana
Okay.
said this is pretty cool. Everybody's saying this is cool and they didn't know about it. I did not know it did the animation, so that opens up some doors for sure when it
Hmm.
comes to creating different types of graphics and content for your podcast. What's up, Chris Stone? Chris Stone in the house. All right. Midjourney is a bit clunky to me as well, but it's probably the only one that I understand how to use. I can use that all day.
Yeah. The one other thing I'll show you as far as image generation. Let me do the share screen. And again, you can incorporate this into whatever video you're doing, because it's, when you do your show, whether it be audio or video podcast, I mean, you need graphics. So why not use a graphic tool to make that happen? So we're in Copilot. So I'm going to use the same prompt. I should have just stole from Meta. Give me a
Mm-hmm.
second. I'm going to just copy and paste. But the thing with Copilot, you don't want to imagine. You want to go to Copilot. Let me get back, and we want to create a. And let me paste the rest. I can get past that tab. Here we go. So then Copilot's going to say, okay, well, I'm going to try to create that for you. So the good thing about Copilot, and again, think about this for image generation for your video or audio podcast. You need an
Mm-hmm.
image, but it's going to work a little bit different as far as Copilot's concerned. So it doesn't design it as you type it out. You type it out, you got to give it a few seconds, and lo and behold, there are photos of Black Wonder Woman. Now, what you can do on some of these photos, like let's say we're going to take this Wonder Woman because we like it the best. I like it because she's got the magic lasso. But with the image in Copilot, you can go from a square image
To
to
landscape.
landscape.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So if
right.
you're a YouTuber, or you want to create a thumbnail that's a little bit wider and you want to work around it, then Copilot's going to work a little bit better for you. And then you can say, okay, well, this looks good. And then, of course, like you can with Meta, you can definitely save that image and upload it to like Canva or any other graphical tool, and it'll help you kind of put together that brand, that that image that you want to create with
But
your podcast or your video stream.
so the animation appeared when you asked it to create a video. Is that's on the Llama on Meta?
If we go back to Meta, let me go to screen share. I think I still got the image there.
Okay.
Let me screen share. Go back to Meta. I like how you called it Llama. I just can't use that name. Llama is just, why am I going to use the AI tool that's going to spit at me, right? I mean, that's all I can think about is a llama. But to answer your question about the video for an image, you click on the image and then you would go at the top and click on animate, or you can go back to all four photos and hit animate, and it'll animate all four. But just for the
Okay.
single solitary image, I'm going to hit animate. So,
That is pretty slick.
yeah.
And that's what I was hearing when I was listening to. I listened to a podcast called Everyday AI. He's usually on top of things when it comes to anything AI. And one of the things he was mentioning is that people, need to really kind of pay attention because Meta's doing a lot. They're doing, they're in dead heat competition right now.
They kind of are. Yeah. That's why with AI, I always say, yeah, it's easy to go to ChatGPT. And if you're real technical, then you probably should stick with a ChatGPT. But if you're kind of afraid of AI, or you need a warm and fuzzy interface like Meta AI or Microsoft Copilot, then those are the tools that you want to use. And I think
Yeah.
another thing that's important for content creators is that you want a tool that can do everything. You don't want to have to
Yeah.
bounce back and forth between uh, AI tools to figure out what's going to work for you. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
both Meta AI and Copilot offer the ability to come up with text, but also you can use prompts to come up with images too. And it just works a lot better if you're able to stay within one platform and create all your stuff.
Yep. Yep. Used
So
Adobe
here's the question I was going
Firefly.
to ask about Adobe Firefly. Not too familiar,
Okay.
but is there a fee associated with that, or is it free?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know, Tatiana. If you'll type in and let us know, is it fee or free? A fellow neighbor of
I
mine
thought
referred me to.
Tyrone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tyrone.
you
Actually, you
you
can
can
transfer
transfer
any of
everything to
those.
Canva.
Put any of those in Canva and do what you want with it. Like add text to it. Um, there's a lot that I've done recently. I'm going to answer a little bit more in just a second, but I want to say hello to folks. Dan Roth in the house, OG, as well as Michelle. Look, people are coming out because they want to hear what you got to say.
Hmm.
James Hicks said, I like what
I
you
like that.
said. I like what you said.
So, Tanya, I was going to mention something about Canva. So, Canva obviously plays a good role hand in hand with your AI tools because even though Canva's got AI built into it, I got to ask, Tanya, have you used Canva AI lately? Like the magic, what do they call it? The magic tool or whatever it is?
Magic something. Yeah, I have, but not much. Like I was enamored after they did the speaking thing, and then I
Right.
was like, mm,
I'm the same way. I'm like,
mm,
ah, you started out good, but
but
yeah, you
no.
kind of lost me. I mean, all the other AI tools have definitely jumped ahead. So if you're able to generate your images and your text, and you need a thumbnail for a video or graphic or anything, it's a good idea to do it in an AI tool and then incorporate that stuff directly into Canva, which I think is important for you to understand that just because it says it can do AI doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do a good job at AI. Because right now,
Right.
in my opinion, the only thing Canva's good for are thumbnails for podcast videos, audio videos. I mean, that's it, in my opinion, because the good thing is that you can generate a thumbnail for just about any social media platform out there.
Yep.
Look at Robert. He's like, yeah,
He
Canva
said it's
AI.
weak. It's
We,
weak sauce. Just an
it's
I
sad
don't
because
know.
Tanya, last year I was in Tucson speaking to a group of realtors, and I brought up the image generator tool in Canva, and it was cool. And you could still upload like headshots and have it change the outfit and stuff like that. But they just, I don't know, they're resting on their loyal. What am I
Their
trying to say?
laurels.
Laurel. There you go. And it's like, I gotta this AI game. This ain't no joke.
It's
You gotta
not a
update
joke.
stuff. It ain't no joke. They're changing. You
No,
know.
and what's funny is that it's like seeing them compete against each other, for attention has been interesting because it only is a win for all of us, especially small creators. Because think about it, when ChatGPT, so OpenAI first came out with ChatGPT, it was like a big deal, and people were like, "Oh, I better pay that $20 a month." And then it was like, "Wait a minute, there are other options." So then 4.0 came out, and it was free, and then you got Llama slash Meta, who is also
Mhm.
open source. So we're winning in this game. In case
Right.
y'all didn't realize that, we're the ones that are winning from the creative battles that are taking place. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what else keeps coming out.
Yeah, one of the things I'm doing while I'm listening to you is since we were talking about the 30-day content calendar, a lot of times it's as simple as doing this. So I'm typing in a prompt in ChatGPT that's saying, "Hey, can you create a 4-week podcast schedule?" Um, and then you need to give it context whenever you do AI prompt. You need to put what type of thing that you're doing. So I'll go ahead and do computer repair because a lot of
Are
my
you doing
colleagues
this
don't
on
do this.
screen share? Do you want me to pop it up?
No, I'm getting there. I just wanted
Okay.
to put the prompt out first and then I'll share it. I didn't want
Okay.
people to like sit through the Jeopardy process of me typing out stuff and like, man, get it right. Then I've got the red squigglies going on. So yeah, I got all
I
sorts
could
of
play you
stuff.
some Jeopardy music if you
I,
want.
I know,
Like we could
right,
do
right.
this.
Uh, okay, I'm almost finished. Want to educate uh,
Okay, I'm
my
popping up comments
followers.
while you're writing. David
Uh-huh.
Hunt says Suno and Udio for music. Huh. I don't know those two, David, so I'm definitely going to be checking those out. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
Oh,
folks.
okay. Here we go.
That's
All
cool.
right. So I got it up. Let me copy this because we're going to show how all the different AI tools work to find out what's going to work best for you. So I've got my prompt copied. I'm going to go to screen share. Let's start with
Okay.
old ChatGPT. And there's my prompt. Can you create a 4-week podcast schedule? I didn't specify, but I want to see what it says. I forgot to put I own there. Probably need to put an I in there. There we go. Put that space in there. And then let's go ahead. Let me copy that again. And then we're going to share that to our followers. And then let's see what is going to happen. There you go. 4-week podcast schedule. And I'm going on the basis that every week, instead of every day, you're going to come out with a podcast schedule. So, I mean, it's just that simple. If you like have brain fog, you're like, I don't know what to share. Because obviously, if you're going to do video, you've got to be a thought leader and give out valuable content that people are going to be able to walk away with. So they've
Yeah.
got it broken down to basic maintenance. There's episode 1 and 2, and they're assuming that you're just doing, I guess, 2 episodes for the first week, 1 episode, well, 2 episodes per week, which I think is interesting. Um, Troubleshooting common issues, hardware upgrades, tips for each episode. Okay, so then let's go ahead and stop our screen sharing with ChatGPT because we saw what it's going to do. I'm going to do Copilot. I had to do a new topic. Let's go to screen share and let's go to Copilot. And then we got Copilot up. Let's go ahead and paste that prompt in there. If I can click on the right button. Come on, get in there. There we go. Yeah, it takes me a second. All right. So there's Copilot. And here we go.
Okay. And so it's putting something
Somewhat
together
similar,
too. Mm-hmm.
somewhat similar in what it's doing. But one of the good things that you are going to find out with Copilot, which all podcasters need to know, where is that information coming from? On
Yeah.
ChatGPT, you've got to ask, cite sources. But as you can see with Copilot, it's automatically going to cite sources. So if you try to be slick and use just like, okay, I'm going to come up with these topics, then you may be getting a cease and desist with your podcast because you didn't plagiarize somebody's content. But at least
Mm-hmm.
you know with Copilot where this is coming from. But I want to remind people if you are going to start the process of creating a um, a calendar for your video, audio, podcast posts, then you should just use this as the foundation to get started, not as well. I'm going to use this exact schedule, and because you're going to get yourself in a world of hurt if you do that.
Yeah.
Now let me show Gemini. And Tanya, have you used Gemini that much as far as a?
I've used it a couple of times. Yeah, because they keep trying to push it down my throat since I have Google Workspace. Hey, you should
Oh
try
yeah,
Gemini. Hey. And I'm like,
yeah,
no, no, I
they
don't want
do.
to.
So let's copy our prompt into Gemini, and you probably know this already, Tanya. So um, let's see here. We'll leave it the same. So let's see if we get different because it looked like Copilot and ChatGPT were the same. But as you can see, here we go, 4-week podcast tips with computer repair. So Gemini is throwing it out. Looks sort of, oh, I did not notice this with the other two. See how I threw cybersecurity in there?
Yep.
It's different than what you would get um, from Copilot and ChatGPT. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
things I love about Google Gemini is that it usually gives you additional tips to work with. Like, of course, engage with your audience, keep it simple, promote your podcast. Consistency is key. But the other thing I love about Gemini is the fact that if you go to Gemini, it's going to give you 3 different drafts of the prompt that you put in. So that way
Mm.
you don't have to just repeat yourself and say,
Yeah.
this is what I want. You can go to the drafts, you can kind of look and see what's different, and then you can choose the prompt draft that's going to work best for you. Now, last but not least, let's look at our buddy Llama 3, or Meta, as I call it.
Because he does not like to call it llama, y'all.
It just sounds like a
But
goofy name,
that's what
doesn't
it
it?
is.
It is. They should have called it like eagle or shark or something. So
Shark.
let's, yeah, let's create a new conversation. So we're going to paste and we're going to go ahead and put our prompt into Meta AI. and somewhat similar. But again, it's changing the order of stuff. But one of the things that you probably need to do is, does your computer repair podcast, is it geared towards more advanced users, or are you going with basic users? So you might have to put in additional prompt that says make it for, I'll put computer dummies, and then we'll see what we get. So let's add that in. Here we go. Now that's kind of an insult, I think. I think everyone knows how to turn on a computer at this day and age. But as you can see, it does modify it. And so if you are creating prompts, you really do have to think about your audience. And I think your AI tools can definitely help you hone in on topics that are more geared to whatever audience you're trying to gravitate to.
Yeah. And one of the things I'll add this, because everything that you've shared today, first of all, I think it's really helpful for people to see that there is a difference in the type of output that you can get from each of these different models. So it's good. It's been great for me lately to kind of test out different models and platforms because I'm playing with a lot of different platforms right now. Not only the models themselves, but also spaces that have been built off of models, like Tascade is one. Another
Hmm.
one that I'm working with right now is called Pickaxe. There's a bunch of different ones. Um,
Right.
oh, there's a question coming into the chat, but let me say this real quick. One thing that Burton is sharing with you is a really super basic prompt for the 30 days. What I'm teaching typically is when you want to get more advanced and you want to get more specific to your business, you need to then kind of backtrack a little bit. So, one of the things that I taught in my academy is a 90-day live stream planner, right? And I put this planner together with a series of different prompts because it's pulling the number one question. The first question is define your monthly revenue target. Because we're working backwards from what is it you're trying to sell and how much do you want to make. So we're starting with that and then we're working backwards into okay, so now based on what we're trying to sell and the call to actions that we want to put together, here's our plan of attack when it comes to the content we're creating. So I just wanted to share that perspective because I think definitely if you're a beginner and you're just starting out, just putting in your prompt, the basic prompts, and going to the different types of platforms to see what results you get is going to be helpful to start. But the more you dive in, you're going to want to get super branded and business niched. You want to focus on how is this tool going to help me to make money. So I just wanted to say that.
Amen. And the good thing about all the different large language models, you can put that information in depending on what you gravitate to.
That's right. I love it.
I love that question that Robert put in there, and I think that's the case with a lot of with a lot of streamers. Is that
It is.
they you play so much, it's like, well, what do I do?
Yeah, Hicks, you're right. And that was another reason why I was like, I ain't playing with y'all over here.
We all know generative AI is biased. You can't. I mean, because you have to look at the people that are putting it together. You
Yep,
know, so
that's right. That's right. Pam says, I found when using ChatGPT, I will prompt it by saying act as exactly. So there's really kind of a three-part process to putting together a more advanced prompt. And it is you give it context and tell it how you want it to, what role you want it to play. If there's specific things that you want to add to it in regards to the style and tone, you can build that into custom GP. There's a bunch of stuff, y'all. But anyway, we're
what
not
one of the
going that
things I
deep
was
today.
going to say, Tanya, one of the things I was going to say is I agree about the role that you have to assign AI. So you want to
Yeah.
say I need you to be my content creator manager, or I need you to be my video stream or audio stream expert, and you explain in detail what it is that you're trying to create. But one thing I will tell you, other than talking to AI like you would a person, a lot of those prompts that you put in, you want in the results that you get, sometimes you have to tell it to limit it to 500 words or less because AI is still experimental. And I think we have to explain that we're jumping on these tools like, it's the gospel, and it kind of is,
Yeah.
but then again, it kind of isn't. It's experimental. So if you limit the output from your AI tools, it's definitely going to stop some of the mistakes that AI can definitely make.
Yeah. I'm going to show y'all too. Going to do a quick screen share of a tool that I'm building out right now that gave a 30-day plan. I think I'm going to do a screen share. I might not have created the right screen, so I'll figure that out in a second. But before I do that, let me pop up this comment real quick here from David said, AppSumo is a treasure trove for new apps coming out. It is. The one thing to be careful about, though, y'all, is when it comes to these apps, because some of you know I had a podcast called App Therapy Club that I've kind of taken a break on. But that's what we talk about is buying lifetime deal apps. And the challenge right now in this moment is that a lot of them, people who set up these startups a year ago or more, they're starting to die off. Like they're
Hmm.
sending, hey, sorry, we're shutting down emails right now. So you got to be careful with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the
RK3 says, stop.
I love
Stop
it.
it.
That's too
Stop.
funny. I love that. That is great.
Yeah, because you can spend money on, and I won't get too far into this soapbox, but I am really conscientious about sending people to apps that I think have put an infrastructure in place where they're going to be sustainable. So that especially counts with AI, y'all, because you can be out there buying these tools on sites like the A word. You could be buying these tools, and then next week, Meta, Gemini, any of these come out with something that is now doing more than what you just paid for, and it's doing it for free. So we have to be
Tanya,
careful.
I'm going to add to that from a cybersecurity aspect too, that there are a lot of what I would call fleeceware on the app stores on different sites. So you really have to pay attention to the reviews because obviously if someone's been fleeced from an app, then they're going to report it. And but you better read those reviews if you can, and just make sure that you're downloading apps or using programs from reputable companies that just aren't trying to jump on the AI bandwagon to get you to give out your money. So always do your homework and your due diligence before you start just jumping into anything branded AI.
Look, there's a lot of comments in here. I said I wasn't going to say the A word anymore today, but y'all are popping them in here. It's the candy aisle of the grocery store. Don't get carried away.
I love that. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Sue
That is.
Ann, you're never late. It's all good. We're glad you're here. Yeah, sometimes the lifetime is the LTD is that of the business. That's exactly right. Just like Burton was saying, you have to be really careful with that. And then, you know what? I'm not putting you to sleep, am I?
Oh, that's too funny. I love it. I love it. But I
Oh,
think also in this volatile AI world that we live in too, that I think right now, I know everyone wants to get the latest and greatest, and sometimes that can be a curse as far as technology is concerned. You know, you can sometimes just want to wait that out and see which stuff is going to emerge. Because I mean, Tanya, you're still using Midjourney, I'm assuming, but that just doesn't come up in conversation anymore. There was another AI generated tool called Crayon that you just don't hear it anymore. So I mean, you have to be cautious when
yeah.
you're jumping into these AI tools to make sure you're going to use one that's going to have longevity and
Mm-hmm.
not shut down on you at some point.
Yep. And you know what? The good thing about us as small creators is that we can be adaptable quickly. We can be nimble, but we got to be careful because our resources are not unlimited. So, budgeting and making sure that you are really conscientious about where you're spending your money. And the one thing that I tell my folks in my community, Burton, is if it's not working for you, keep in mind the refund policy because you
Oh,
can refund
definitely,
it. Like,
definitely,
get your money back.
right.
Oh,
So,
here's a question that's popped up for you.
okay,
Pam says, what are your thoughts as it relates to sourcing AI when you use the content? So you mean
that's a good question.
referring to where you got the reference from? Is that the question, Pam? What do you think? How do you interpret that, Burton?
Oh, that's a good question. I was waiting to get more details on that too.
Okay. Pam, give us a little bit more so we can dive into that one because I got a feeling I think I might know where you're
When I
going with that.
when I'm thinking sources, I'm thinking, well, you created some content, and then you're saying, well, I actually got this content from a different source. But I would think that obviously, you would just want to use AI as a stepping stone to help the creative juices go, so that it's your intellectual property, so that you don't have to pay homage to anybody else. Because I think once you go down that path of generating AI content, and then you're having to give a source of where it came from, you kind of lose credibility because you're basically sharing someone else's content, and everything, audio, video, podcast, or video blog, whatever you want to say, should be your intellectual property. And again, you just want to use it as a foundation to get the creative juices flowing so that you can come up with good content and stay a little bit more creative and a little bit more versatile as far as your video and audio podcast are concerned.
And I actually, in about 3 weeks, I think it is, I have an attorney, a dear friend of mine who's a longtime intellectual property attorney and a brand counsel, and she is going to give us very specific information about protecting ourselves from a legalistic standpoint. Because one of the things she and I have had some deep conversation about is protecting ourselves and our content, our personal property, by making sure that we have certain policies, for instance, on our websites. So, in our terms of use, adding an AI policy. I asked that question, Burton, probably a couple months ago. I asked in my Facebook personal profile, I asked, does anybody have an AI policy? Because I was thinking about it since that's my corporate background. That's me back here in my other life. And
Right.
I was like, I want to protect myself, protect my brand, and protect anything that I'm creating. I want to protect, but I also want to protect the right to be able to use content that I'm getting from, people inputting stuff into the AI tools that I put out into the world. And so making sure that you clearly are stating what you're using, how you're using it, if you're collecting other people's data, all of that can protect you. Because something, and I won't get too deep into this one either, but these things have been just rolling, Burton. Okay, cybersecurity. There was a question that came up. No, there was something that came up in an article I was reading this week that said small creators right now in this moment are beginning to be sued by California and by people in California because of, I think it's called the CIPA. It has something to do with a privacy act that's there. And
Right.
if you aren't putting those banners, the consent banners on your website, your WordPress website, you could be fined like $50,000 to start.
Right.
Single member, we're talking about solopreneurs, people like us who are in this chat right now are being sued because they don't have a consent banner. Something real simple that we should have, but most of us are kind of like, I don't need that. I don't have a large group of people coming to my website. But so
You kind of do.
do you have any thoughts on any of that, like security, making sure we protect ourselves?
Well, I think when you are using, I think most of us are maybe using site builder tools like Wix and GoDaddy and Squarespace. When you start to see those sites suggest that you put it on your website, you probably better put it on there because they obviously want to protect your users. You may not see it as much in WordPress, but I know definitely from someone who uses Wix, that popped up over a year ago as far as the Privacy Act. So I definitely incorporated it in our website immediately to make sure that we weren't going to have anyone try to come out of us and fleece us or get money out of you because especially now in the advent of AI, and this kind of goes in the source material thing too, that if you're too much close to the source, that could put you in line for a lawsuit. So again, I always stress to people, if you're going to utilize AI, then you want to use it as a stepping stone to help that creative process work so that you're generating your own intellectual property as opposed to just trying to take different sources and spin it to work for you.
That's right.
So, I mean, that's my thought on it. But from a cybersecurity aspect, none of this really hits that. I mean, the main thing with cybersecurity with AI is just making sure that you're avoiding phishing messages that are coming in from specific criminals, and making sure that you're not sharing customer data or any other private data when you submit a prompt in with any of these internet
Mm,
tools. Because one of the things that Apple's trying to do, being their bossy pants by saying that AI stands for Apple intelligence as opposed to artificial intelligence, is that the newer Apple tools that are coming out are generating content on your Apple device rather than
mm,
going to a specific website to generate that. So your
that's right.
information stays private, but then it will reach out to ChatGPT to get more information if it needs to get more data. So those are the only things that you have to worry about from a cybersecurity aspect.
I'm going to pop up some comments. Let's do that. Yeah, and Pam further clarifies. She says, so when you use info from ChatGPT and you use the information, what's the best practice to source it? Like when you use other info, you say where it came from. I think the key is, this is just me thinking, Pam, but Burton, you might have some other thoughts. The key is that if you are not the intellectual property owner and someone else is, and it depends on the information even that you're using, but if you're questioning it, if you've got a gray area there, you might want to make sure you at least document the source so that you can come back and make sure you include it if you've got a question. Typically, I don't start with other people's stuff. I start with my brand, my business, my knowledge first and ask AI to help enhance that experience. And that
That's
way, it's my stuff.
right. And I would have to agree with that, Tanya, because again, if you put in like a generic prompt like I did, and I just did what was considered a bad prompt, you're going to get limited information that's basically going to scrape that data off the internet. I think one of the big things that people fail to understand about AI is the fact that it's just pulling information from a large database and it's scraping information off the internet. It's not self-thinking and self-creating. It's just gathering data and trying to fulfill the need that you've requested. So that's
Yep.
why sometimes you get misinformation because maybe you put in a bad prompt or you're getting information from different sources because it's like, well, I really can't piece this together, but hey, let me show you this awesome article that I found on the internet. So
Yep.
again, like you said, Tanya, it's best just to say, well, here's the idea I'm working with. Can you help me enhance that and make it a little bit better? And then it will definitely help you go towards being a little bit more creative as far as the process of creating your 30-day, 60-day, or 90-day calendar as far as doing an audio or a video podcast.
Yep. That's right.
But I
Let's
think
see.
I like what Robert said, but I did an AI session today, and that was the big thing. And people kept asking, well, what about the copyright? It's like, look, if it's images, it's a Creative Commons, meaning that if you create it and put it online, you can use it, but so can the whole world. But as far as your text, then if it's coming from a source, and most likely it is, you better not use it. It's just it's just going to get you into trouble because you're going to get lazy and just copy and paste, and you're going to get the cease and desist letter along with the bill.
And there are some, if you look, for instance, now on YouTube and you're creating a video on YouTube, when you upload it, it's got a space now for you to indicate whether or not AI was involved in creating content within your video. I think
Right,
that more and more you're going to start seeing that popping up where you have to label it. And from what something else I read is that Meta at some point is also going to be indicating if they suspect that whatever you uploaded is AI generated, it's going to have a label that says
right.
that. So there's more transparency coming into play, whether you want to add the source or not. But again, to your point, Pam, especially with what I believe you're doing and how you're using it, if you start with your what you know and then you're enhancing with the information and like Robert, like RK3 said, using it to help with as a resource for additional info, I feel like it's still yours. You're just augmenting or getting additional information. It would be like you're going to the library and reading a book, and now I have a little bit more knowledge and some other ideas that I can use in my stuff, what I'm writing. What gets you into trouble is if you, like Burton just said, you just go in there, you put a prompt in, and then you copy and paste that as your stuff and don't even try to check on the source. Don't even try to enhance it. Like you're not putting it in your voice, you're just pasting it like it was yours in the first place.
The
People get
other
problems.
tool that a lot of people will use, and it's AI generated, is Grammarly. And Grammarly, you should only use it if you're coming up with the script or you want to use a transcript for your podcast. If you use Grammarly, use it for word correction. If you get into the whole sentence structure thing, guess what? Grammarly's AI. And so maybe something that was original content all of a sudden will be seen as AI generated content because Grammarly has gone through and added its 2 cents as far as how your sentence structure is laid out. So just keep that in mind too, because I know people will generate it with AI, then they try to send it to Grammarly to mix it up. But you're just asking AI to fix AI. So I wanted to throw that out there.
Fix my AI, AI. You know,
You're right, exactly.
I saw a story, a post on Facebook the other day where a woman was fired. She was let go from her copywriting job because the managers said that they put her content through a tool to
Like
see if it
zero
was,
GPT.
yep. And it said that it was 100% AI generated. And she was like, oh my
Wow,
God, I've been a copywriter for like 15 years. So no, this was me. But she was
right,
let go because they assumed based on the tool.
right.
So it's the wild, wild west, y'all. And we're going to have to just continue to ask questions and have people, smart people like Burton, come in and give us guidance. Um, let me
One of the
share.
things that I
Oh, go
was going
ahead.
to add real quick too, Tanya, is the fact that I mean it's good to come out with different topics that are AI generated for your podcast or whatever video that you're doing. But one other thing that is kind of a non-AI tool, especially if your industry kind of draws with what's going on currently in today's society, is a practice called newsjacking. So if you want to
Mm,
stay current, you want to stay relevant, just pay attention to the headlines or use AI because again, we're using generative AI as conversational Google. Just go to AI and ask it, hey, what are the trending things for my industry that I perhaps should talk about on a podcast or on video chat, and let it generate that kind of content for you, as opposed to always thinking about titles or descriptions or even what's the word I'm looking for, like captioning. Like if
ah,
you've got a script, because a lot of people will use AI to create a script and they can do it for like a month period or longer. Don't
mm-hmm.
rely on that. Use it just again as a creative block, but find other ways to find out what's trending that you can do podcast on, and newsjacking is probably one of the best ways to make that happen.
Yes. I love what RK3 is saying, and you are a strategic storyteller. It's true. Personal and experiential storytelling is important. It humanizes the content in ways that AI never will. It's true. Sue Ann, if you're like me, you're fighting it because I like my words better. Me too. Me too. Me too. Me too.
I like that,
Yeah,
downgraded to get less health.
Tyrone, I no, she actually was writing an article. She was a journalist and she was writing an article, not releasing company information, but she was let go because when they put her article through the tool, it said, "Oh, this was 100% generated by AI." And she said, "No, she wrote that for real. Like she wrote it." Newsjacking is a great idea. Yes, yes, yes. I robot. No,
Oh my
we
God, who
we
wrote that?
dispelled the we
iRobot.
dispelled the myth earlier, Michelle.
Is that the same as saying doing the Roomba? Or are we talking about the Will Smith movie
I
iRobot?
think she's talking about the Will Smith movie personally. I think that's what
That's too
she's trying to
funny.
say.
Exactly.
Here, I'm going to pop this up for those who were like, "Oh yeah, well, I want to know about a 30-day plan." I'm just going to show you something that you could use if you were interested in doing so. Let me try to see if I can pop it up really fast. So I used a tool that I'm building out. I'm actually building out something for live streamers, and in it, each of the roles that you see on the left will become individual bots that do specific job functions for your stream. So I'm building this out for use in my community, and I'm really excited about that. But If you're trying to look for a 30-day plan, this is what I pulled up in my own bot, my custom bot. The first of all, wait, this is not it. Where's my 30-day plan? I gotta find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So 30-day plan, day 1 through 5, research and planning. So discuss AI tools. So identify whatever your AI tools are going to be. Um, Start thinking about your episode list and script your outlines. Day 6 through 10, do your recording. Day 11 through 15, do your editing. Day 16 through 20, do your transcriptions and subtitles. Day 21 through 25, do your SEO and marketing. And day 26 through 30, measurement and analysis. So I pulled that together just to give, if you were really like creating planning out a podcast from scratch, you could literally do something like that if you wanted to create a calendar, pre-record everything and have it ready to go. I know, Burton, you were saying you record your episodes. How do you do it? Tell me a little bit about your workflow again.
Oh, heck, I just go live. And if there's any goofs or, I mean, any minor goofs, that way I don't have to edit or do anything. I just record it, do it, and then
Yep.
I'm done. I don't like editing. I don't want to add anything in. I just want to be able to do it. I want it to be live and fresh and humanized, like Robert Kennedy said.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, that's the whole purpose. I mean, especially in this day of video age, I call it the America's funniest home videos mentality, because there's no editing there. The
Yep.
video's sometimes shoddy. All people care about is the content and how it makes them feel. So, I mean, I definitely would not overthink it. Just do it, and then just keep showing up every week. You'll improve, you'll get better. But at the same time, you want to show up and you just want to put out the content so that you're seen as a thought leader.
I really, really, absolutely love live streaming for the exact reason you just shared. One, I don't want to have to edit or pay anybody to edit. Two, I love the power of having conversations like we're having this conversation right now with between us, but also with the people that are in the chat. I love all of that. I love the fact that it's so transparent and we can just do it and not have to plan and structure it and make it perfect. I
Yeah,
love that.
video is, I think that's the time killer if you're going through editing video. I mean, it just, it's so arduous. I mean, I think that's the best word for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Live
that's
podcast.
my
The
podcast
B.
are the bee's knees. I'm surprised you didn't put a bumblebee up there, RK3.
That's what I love. No edit. Yeah, I mean, for those of us who are in that camp of thinking,
Hmm.
yeah, it does. It takes a lot of time. And the other thing about the beauty of live stream too is that you get to take it and turn it into a whole bunch of other pieces of content. So you can
Right.
pull out the pieces that where you said something, where Burton said something that was super genius. I told him, hey, when you say something that's like really genius level, I'm gonna just pop you up and you'll be solo on screen by yourself. He's like, yeah, okay.
So the other thing I was going to throw out too, as far as coming out with content for podcasts, go with holidays, and you can use AI to find out what national day is coming up or what trending holidays appeal to your business. I mean, you
Hmm.
could always go to National Today or National Calendar Today to find that information. But if you want it to be fresh and trending, you don't necessarily always have to newsjack and see whatever crisis is going on. You can find holidays that pertain to your industry and do a podcast that's offering valuable tips with that. And you can use AI to find those, because searching sometimes, even on National Day Calendar or National Today, they don't have all of them. But if you go to AI and use it like a Google search, it's going to be a little bit more comprehensive, letting you know which holidays are coming up. Like, for example, August 1st, if you can believe it, is National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day.
Hey.
Um, so if you've got a cooking podcast or even audio, you can revolve around that holiday. I know sometimes the media will reach out to me on National Day of Unplugging, which is an actual, well, actually now it's Global Day of
Oh,
Unplugging. So, I mean,
okay.
you could talk about ways that you can unplug from technology that can be done from a technology standpoint. It can also be used in the mind, if you're in the mind space of healing, emotionally and physically. I mean, that's a holiday that you can turn to, because obviously technology is causing all sorts of mental and physical issues. So cutting down is definitely a good topic to use to be seen as a thought leader.
That makes total sense. Look, okay, wait. I'm waiting for National Oatmeal Raisin Cookie Day.
I think there's a such holiday.
I would be
Arcade,
in for
you
that.
better go to you better go to I guess we could say Chat GPT it to see if it's an actual holiday. He said, "There's the bee."
Put your bumblebee in there.
Yeah,
Sue
exactly.
Ann, I saw a couple of comments for you that from you that I want to pop up because Sue Ann put something that I think is interesting, and it's the trouble with newsjacking is it's not always evergreen, which we do like, but we like variety too, Sue Ann. So I think with newsjacking, because you want to have things, you want to have a mixture of content that's evergreen, that is here for all time, but then you also want to have things that are trending in the moment. So it's all about the diversity of content. She asked
One
the
of the things,
question.
one perplexity for search yet I have, again, it's I don't know.
I'm gonna try
Okay,
it because Sue Ann recommended. I haven't tried it, but I'm going to now.
tell Robert National Cookie Day, and I went to AI, is celebrated April 30th every year.
Oh, April 30th. That's your day. From now on, RK3, I'm just gonna send you an image, an AI image of a National Oatmeal Raisin Cookie on National Oatmeal Raisin Cookie Day.
Oh, I better type that in. Let's see. I better type in when is. We forgot the oatmeal raisin. Oatmeal cookie days on April 30th. Oatmeal raisin um,
When is that day?
is.
That's his day. That's RK3's day.
Hold on, is when is that? Let's see what we got. It may be
Because,
the
y'all,
same
there's a
day.
day for anything. Let me ask you this for those of you in the audience. What's your national holiday? If you could create your own national holiday, put your national holiday in the chat. Like, what would you create? And RK3 said that perplexity is okay, but ChatGPT and other models handle search pretty well. David Hunt, I was thinking the same thing. If Sue Ann can make oatmeal apricot cookies, I would try that.
Speaking of national holidays, there is a national or international podcast day. You want to know when that is?
When?
September 30th.
Is it really?
Dead serious.
Okay, so I might need to take advantage of that since I'm
Yeah, I think we
reconfiguring
all
things.
should. You can come up with content. I wanted to leave a comment about the whole newsjacking thing, is that with newsjacking, even though newsjacking is current, it can be used as evergreen content too. So whenever there's a crisis, usually you report on the crisis, but a lot of times you can utilize that crisis to come up with tips and techniques to use that will help prevent that crisis again.
Mm,
So like summer
good
storm
point.
season is huge, because the all of the extreme storms that are coming on. Now National Disaster Month is in September, but obviously we all deal with summer storms. So if you were to if there was a national storm day, or if there was a like with Houston dealing with the hurricane, but you could
Yeah,
take that and make it evergreen content, because at some point someone's going to have to deal with some natural disaster, and at least from the IT aspect, you are going to come up with tips and tricks to make sure that you can stay connected to the internet and make sure that you keep all your technology safe.
that's a really excellent point. I love that.
Same thing with CrowdStrike. With the
Oh,
CrowdStrike
yeah.
virus, I evergreen that by coming up with content that's basically saying, well, that's great, and here's what happened, and here's how you can fix it. But going on to say, well, how are you going to prevent that from happening to your company in the future? What things are you going to do to help your company run if the computers in your office were shut down?
That's really sharp. That makes so much sense. I see a couple of people have created their own holidays. Respect Everyone Day. I love it. No Okra Day. What, David Hunt? What you talking about?
Funny. I got one.
Look,
You
this
ready
is a
for this
good
one?
one.
Okay, it's probably let's come up with Sugar on Your Grits Day. which we all know is a no-no.
Look, 50% of the crowd has just left the building.
I know, right? Oh my God. I'm not celebrating that, Tanya, you know?
Nicolette, yep, I want to definitely. I'm looking forward to hearing more on that background. I know she said I love okra, but David Hunt is over here creating a no okra day.
Oh, that's funny. There'll be resistance. People eating okra just in defiance of,
I know
I'm going to eat okra. You can't
that's gonna
stop
be
me.
me. That'll be
You
me.
can't stop me.
I'm eating
Too funny.
okra on your day, David Hunt.
Well, I got another quick poll that you could do, Tanya.
Okay.
Ask everyone their favorite generative AI tool that they're currently in love with.
That is a great question. If you have a specific tool that you're using right now, a generative AI tool that you love, what's your favorite one? Pop that in the chat. I would be curious to see too, like what are people using? Because I experimented the other day with Poe, and I was very pleasantly surprised. I was asking it to give me some, it was kind of a mixture of financial legalistic advice, and I was asking it to pull specific legislation, like give me thoughts based on this legislation, and it gave me it gave me really good, user friendly, easy to understand answers that made
Did you
sense.
fact check this stuff? You heard about that attorney last year that went to
I
ChatGPT
did.
to write the legal brief, and I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if he was
did.
barred or what happened. He got
Well, I
embarrassed.
knew the original piece of legislation, so I went and gut checked. Like, let
Oh,
me double check and see if it's saying exactly this. And yeah, it just broke it down into more thematic structure. But yeah, I did hear about that. So,
so Tanya, what's your favorite? Which large language model are you in love with now?
well, I mean, I'm still a $20 a month Chat GPT user for now, but I have been second guessing, waiting to see what this llama thing is going to do. And I also know that Claude AI tends to be, it gives me a different perspective on some things. So I actually like Claude as well. But I'm sticking with OpenAI for now. I'm sticking with it for now. That
Are
might
you okay?
change. What's
Yeah.
yours?
Well, here's a secret a lot of people probably don't know. You may know it, but you know Microsoft is the one that funded OpenAI to create ChatGPT, right?
Yep.
So my favorite tool is Copilot because I put in prompts. I'm not using ChatGPT heavily, especially as a blog post creator and a video content creator. A lot of it is my own intellectual property that I use. Occasionally, I'll look for verbiage on descriptions and stuff like that. But yeah, as far as creating a social calendar or video calendar, uh, I go with what's trending versus what I think people need to know about and what's seasonal. But yeah, Copilot is the tool that I use because it's versatile. Yes, you can create images in ChatGPT, but at the same time, the way that Copilot uses Dolly, then I just like that tool a lot. And I've been playing a little with Meta AI as well, just to see how they're going to develop.
I did create my new, I used something called Go Brunch. And so I created a series of rooms using Copilot. And I was pretty pleasantly surprised about how well branded it was and how realistic, because I was giving it very specific instructions, like taking it to the brink. like,
Right.
and it did the furniture, it did, the little accessories, it did all of that stuff. Sugar on grits is a yes for David. Come on.
I saw a
Wait,
video where they took somebody's black card for trying to suggest
look.
sugar on grits.
You said you scared me with that sugar on grits. What? Y'all are a hot mess. Blasphemy.
I knew it. That's why I threw it out there.
But David said sugar on grits is a yes.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I told you
butter and
50-50.
sugar. I don't know if I could do that, but
50-50.
I know. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So chat and Gemini.
Really, that's interesting. I like that choice.
Let's see what
I don't
else we
like the
got.
fact Gemini had image generation and then they took it away. You try to make it create an image, it won't do it. It's like, hey, we're
Oh,
working on it because they fell behind.
man, but I like what you showed us with Llama though, with that animation. That's game changer. Now I'm gonna go play after this. Ooh, you got a lot of them, girl. Let's see.
I see that.
DID 11 Labs. Yep, 11 Labs. That's in there. Not the kind of plus cast magic. Okay. So the actual stuff behind those things would probably be like ChatGPT, Claude,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. Yeah. I
Doesn't
do.
Claude,
Does it what?
isn't there a fee for Claude?
Well, you can do free Claude because that's how what I use it for is the free version, but then there is a premium version that does even better.
Right?
I know you didn't. You're not saying sugar and gumbo. I know you're not saying that. So I'm just gonna move on, Michelle.
No, grits and gumbo.
I use grits and gumbo. Okay, I use Copilot a lot, but just recently invested in ChatGPT 4.0.
I did too, but I'm ready to pull that $20 a month.
I'm telling you,
Oh
because
God,
I'm trying to figure out why I'm doing that right now. Why am I paying that? she's
he was.
she does. She's named her chat. It's true.
That's funny. We
The tools
bud.
you get comfy with matter. They do. I kept you overtime, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not. I'm not really sorry.
You went a little sorry, but not sorry, right?
I'm not really sorry because it was fun. I hope it was fun for you. Y'all, I think the key, if I were to pull up major things that I heard from Burton, one of the things would be to definitely try different tools and see what works for you because it looks like each of them can do different, produce different outputs. So depending on your business and what you're trying to do, you could end up falling in love with one thing over another. Because I'm just going to wait on you, Burton, to tell me when it's time for me to move off of ChatGPT $20 a month.
Today. I mean, it's. I mean, how it. I think it depends on how much you're using Chat GPT. If you're using it sporadically, then yeah, you're gonna get the 4.0 until you run through your credits, and then they throw you back to 3.5.
Yep.
But with and I think that's why ChatGPT changed their model where it wasn't like, well, you only get access to 4.0 if you paying that $20 a month. Now it's like, well, we're gonna give you a little taste of it, and then we're going to charge you if you go over your limit because you already get the same power with Copilot, you get the same power with Gemini, and of course
Yep.
Meta is like, y'all screw all y'all. We taking it all. We like pulling their
Yep.
chips in, like we want it all.
You
So I
saw
mean,
the
yeah,
Zuckerberg meme with the big gold chains.
right?
He was
Yeah,
coming in like, hey, I'm going to put
gangster.
this llama out there. Let's see what y'all
Right.
do with that.
Maybe that's what kind of coat he be wearing. That's why they call it llama. So he got the gold chains with the llama coat he throw on, looking like a big old PIMP up there, a digital pimp, you know, which is what he is. Especially since he ain't helping nobody with, well, the way he gangsta put Meta AI into Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, and then the fact that he's so gangster that if you get your social media account stolen, he like I ain't helping y'all out, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
It's
But I
horrible.
will say this, and this is not in their defense, but I will say did the Meta Verified a while back for my Facebook.
You just like throwing money out there.
Well, I did it, and let me tell you, it paid off recently. It paid off because there was something that popped up, and I could not get that thing fixed. And I went through the regular support that everybody can go through, and that sucked. Like,
What support are you talking about? There ain't no support from
there
Facebook.
is, there is. You can go to, there's an
Is
inbox
there a
where you can
number,
go
or
to
you got to
them.
like go through the whole chat bot where it helps
It
you
was a
out?
chat bot mess, and it was a hot mess, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So then I went into my Meta Verified account. And in there's a different inbox. There's a different support mechanism. And they actually gave me a phone call so I could talk to
What?
somebody. I know what? And within a
Right.
day, the situation was corrected. So I'm just saying that was worth it to me and justified me paying my little $12 a month for the Meta Verified. I'm just
Because you
saying.
probably only have it on one account, right?
I do.
Yeah. See, if you do multiple accounts, you talking 50 a month. Depending on how many you have. That's
Yep.
highway robbery, Tanya.
I'm not
But I guess
selling
you
it.
got to pick and
Just
choose in these hard times. It's hard out in these streets.
it
You
is
got to
hard
pick
out
and
in
choose
these
where you're gonna put
streets.
your Skrilla as far as your account is concerned.
Look, but people
I
out here
won't do it.
stealing accounts. They're stealing profiles and putting your picture on stuff. You need help when you need help. The
I
$12 a
know.
month is worth it.
Yeah, I guess. I just hide my friends list and you don't get that because they're just trying to market to people.
Yeah.
But you know what? I will verify, especially because it's my favorite F word, which is free. LinkedIn, you know,
Yeah.
and it's through
Yeah.
Clear. I mean, why can't Meta do that?
Yeah.
They got
That's a good
billions.
question.
Why can't they just go through Clear? LinkedIn's like, and then with LinkedIn, have you done it, Tanya?
Yeah, I did. And you
It's
know
like
what?
it
It took
takes
me
less than
several
60
tries
seconds.
though to do it. Clear was
Really?
like, I don't understand your driver's license. Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Unless you want some list you don't know about.
I'm on the hot girls list.
but I, but Tanya, I will tell you this is that with I just had to renew my TSA, and I guess when I did it the first time, I didn't put my middle initial in. So when I went to renew, they were like, "Man, we don't know
We don't know
you."
you.
And then I took it out, and they're like, "Oh, homie, what's up?" Gave me the dap. Hey, we'll get you requalified. So yeah, yeah.
Oh, LinkedIn. Wait, hold up. $99 a month for business page features on LinkedIn?
Probably they can
Mm,
keep my business space. Who put that up there?
mm.
Are you
Someone said,
using the what's that thing called? Uh, the the where you can directly email people. I forget that feature.
oh, that the premium something LinkedIn something premium
Yeah,
something.
no, they not
Nah.
getting my money. I'll lose my
She
business
says it's
page.
brand new. This is brand new, whatever that is.
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
have my business page. Keep it.
I know. I'm just I'm just using the free 99 on LinkedIn right now. But I do what do you think in terms of LinkedIn? Do you think they're going to jump into this game at all of AI or no? What's your
They already
thought?
have. They already have. For the low price of $99, you can have
Oh,
your post generated by AI for LinkedIn. You know,
I didn't know
the
that.
little things
Is
there
that
that
what
kind of
she's
trick
talking
you.
about then? Is that the
No,
whole 90?
I've read that too. That for business pages, they are going with some type of. You can do more with your business page if you pay more money. But I just want my business page to have high SEO, and LinkedIn definitely offers that. If you create it, people look for your business, it'll come up with your LinkedIn profile business page, and you can still post on it. So I mean, that's good enough for me.
Okay.
Because my mentality is just show up, show
Yeah.
up. Video people out there listening, show up once a week.
She said
I
they
know you
have
may
it,
be.
so people hate it and they seem to be backing out of the AI. Okay, so they have. So people
Yeah.
aren't loving what they're doing with the AI and LinkedIn yet
I wouldn't use LinkedIn like AI. Meta's got it too. You can generate a post with AI with Meta, but
for
again,
free.
yeah, exactly. But um, my mindset, getting that calendar, getting that content out there, use it as a stepping stone, please. If one more person asks me about, well, what about the copyright with AI? It's like, look, be like mess around and find out, right? Go ahead, yeah, go ahead and copy that.
Do that if you want to. She
Yeah,
said
see
it
what
started
happens.
with AI writing false bios for your LinkedIn page. Oh, yeah. I'm a CEO of a Fortune 500 company.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
have a story about that, but I won't tell it for sake of time. Okay, this is going to be our last question, which is kind of going back to what you already answered a little bit, I think. Zoom videos that I'm not able to upload because I recorded them on Microsoft Edge. So, do videos belong to Zoom recording? I don't
I ain't
know
never
about
heard that.
that.
Can you put the question back up? Can I look at that?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know that that's the case. I would probably, I
That
don't,
don't make any sense because Zoom records it as an MP4, doesn't it? But it buries it like in a gazillion folders in the Zoom deal.
It's in the Zoom cloud if you had cloud recording, and if not, it should be on your local desktop.
Right. So
So
the
what?
videos don't belong to Zoom
Yeah, so
recording.
you should check with Zoom to see if they can help you determine where they might be located. Now, they may say, hey, we don't have them in our cloud, Tyrone. And if they don't, they're probably somewhere stuck on your computer and you just haven't figured out where. You're going to have to
Yeah,
do some digging.
yeah, because Zoom videos are buried, and I think it's not the preferred tool. I know a lot of people will record video, but then you got to go like the date and then this topic. I mean, it's just buried. I mean, it's hard to find.
Now, what I used to do when I had Zoom, because I don't use Zoom anymore, but I used to create a local folder on my drive, on my Google Drive, that was called Zoom. So, Tyrone, if this will help you for future, create that local folder, and then you can go into Zoom settings and set it to where it only saves the recordings to that specific folder. So then I could go in, and after I got done with the recording, I would rename it to. I had a, no, a naming structure for all of my folders like I do now, so I can easily find it later. But that means you have to do the work to go and rename, and you have to do the work to put these in a place where you're going to be able to find them. So we can do a whole other call on that.
Oh, definitely. You can also do screen capture with Zoom. You know, I wonder how many
That's
people
right.
do that. Oh, we're not gonna record this, and the next thing you know, they like using Windows or Apple screen capture to
Yeah.
record stuff. So yeah,
Or
crazy
snag
world we
it. They're using Camtasia to snag it and capturing the whole
live,
doggone thing.
right? I love it.
Wait, okay, no, I promise this is my very last because it's just so funny. David said, if you ask me about AI copyright one more time, taking away your okra and
Over
making you
and
eat
make
sugar,
sugar on
I'm
your
gonna make
grits. That's right. That's right. That's like putting some stank on it when you say something like that. I meant that. I
that's
meant
like
that.
playing a game of spades.
I
Bam!
know, right?
That's it.
Right. Like you coming from outer space with that card. Bam.
Well, this has been fun, Burton. I know we are just all over the place, but I think we kind of got. I mean, do you think we talked about AI and podcasting? I think we
I
did.
think, but I mean, obviously, we talked about the important rules, which a lot of people struggle with, is use it for brainstorming purposes, come up with your topics and use your descriptions. But at the same time, in this AI world we live in, because one of my TED Talks is, will AI kill our imagination? And my theory is that it has the possibility to do that. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you still rely on your personal creativity to come up with your AI calendar. Maybe it gives you topics, but at the same time, stop there and come up with your own intellectual property content so that way you don't get into trouble.
Yeah. Use it as an enhancement, sort of like sugar on your, not on your grits,
Right.
but on
Or like in your
strawberries.
instance, and well, yeah. Or like in your instance, use it like Wonder Woman has her bracelets in her tiara. It's an enhancement to the superpowers that she already has.
That's right.
Same thing with the magic lasso. It's an enhancement. It's not like she whipping it out every instant. She's beating you down first, and then to put some to put some stank on it, she might pull out the lasso or hit you with that tiara. That's that's how you got to use
See,
AI.
look, this is what happens when it gets late.
Right.
We just really, we are, woo.
Right.
But it was fun.
It
Thank you
was.
so much, Burton, for coming on and hanging out with me once again. Because you've been on my show before, but I had to bring you back. We've been talking about it.
Yeah. I've been
So
begging and you finally relented. So I
he
really
was,
appreciate that opportunity.
he's not begging y'all. That is not him.
I
Okay,
did. I
I'm
put
going
my llama cape on and was like, please, like James Brown, can't go no more, you
to.
know? So yeah.
You know what? I'm switching you off.
All right.
Y'all, if you learned anything at all tonight, first of all, make sure you show Burton some love. And before I switch him off, for real, let me pull
Right.
up his website. I want to do that. So if you want to get in touch with Burton Kelso, here is his website. That's not him. That's me. Let me pull him up.
What? Oh my
That's you.
God. Oh, there I am. Oh, you wanted to do the website and me,
I
so
wanted to put you
yeah,
both
let
up
me
there.
let me generate. Let me hold up.
Yeah. That is really him. That's his
Yeah,
website.
yeah.
BurtonKelso.com. You see how to spell it right there. You see his website here where he's talking about who he is, what he does, and there's several videos on here. So definitely go and check him out. Follow, like, subscribe, all the things. Yes, he is a tech expert, but he's also fun. He's not a
That's
boring
right.
tech expert.
No, not at all.
All right. I'm going to close us out and say I really, really, really appreciate all of you being here tonight. And here we go again. There's something funky going on. You're not me, I'm me. So
But I'm the guest on the show, so yeah.
you are the guest on the show, but
Yeah.
I need to let me do this real quick. I don't know what just happened, but I'm going to fix it really fast so I can close us out because for whatever reason, it's switching me and you.
I see that. Yeah. There we go. Yes. I
That's
love it.
me. That's me.
That's you.
Y'all, thank you. Thank you for hanging out. It was so much fun. Make sure you do follow Burton at burtonkelso.com and you'll see all his socials and all of that stuff there too. I'm Tanya Smith. It has been my pleasure to entertain you apparently this evening, but also to talk to you a little bit about AI, live streaming, podcasting, all the things. And it's been so much fun to have you in the comments chatting with us. So I will see you next week here on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And hey, if you learned something, pop in the chat. One little nugget of learning, one little golden nugget that you learned. And we will see you next time in the stream. All right.